Hello, friends. We are outside a house and we're going to go in and grab a whole bunch of books because I won an estate lot of books on an online auction. Mitzi recommended this as a way to get a good amount of stock. And so, actually, a few days after her comment on one of the previous videos, a last minute estate sale clear out popped up from a local company that I know does auctions after they do an estate sale, and sometimes they just do auctions from what I assume this was like a house that just needed to be cleared out quickly. So that's why they did a quick last minute auction. And a couple days later, I have to come and pick up the one that I won. So I won a lot of books. There were a number of book lots, and this one was the one that I thought had a few more good books that would resell well. So I'm glad I won that one. And then I bid on like a whole bathroom full of stuff and didn't win that one, but maybe good to start small, see how I do with this lot of books, and know for the future how well I did with this lot, what I can manage to deal with if I do stuff like this in the future. So I'm going to grab one of the cardboard boxes I've got back in this car, and we're going to load up some books.
Pop that side up, and we'll unplug this stuff, and right here there's a latch. You gotta pop it to the left a little bit, and then the top comes right off.
Oh, that's right. I forgot these things do that.
Yeah, I've learned this the hard way.
From experience?
Yeah.
All right, all the books are loaded in, and I am so glad all I won was that smaller lot of books, because the whole back seat, I guess they could be piled up a little higher in the back seat, but much more than that, I would have had to get another vehicle to put these in. So we'll get these back to the warehouse and start going through them, see if there's anything really good. Okay, I've sorted through, I'd say about half of the books. It hasn't taken too long because honestly, most of them are not worth anything, and I've even thrown a few in the garbage. I know that upsets people a lot of the time, and I get it. They're books and they're precious, but like the ones that I threw in the trash were like water damaged, had gross stains on them. Like, nobody needs those books. Nobody's going to want those books. And so I will go ahead and throw those away. But I am going through each and every one of them just to make sure that they are not worth selling before I discard them. A lot of them are going to go on to probably the flea market or yard sale, or I'll donate them on. Take them to a little free library if they're in good shape, and they might fit a little free library. But this stack that I've got showing you here, these are the books that I spotted when I was looking at the online auction, and what made me decide to go ahead and put the $20 bid in that I won it for. It's because I went through and these were the ones that I comped and looked like they might be promising. So the first one you'll see on the spine, I could only see the spine on the shelf, obviously. So the first one is Gone with the Wind, and the spine looked like a first edition when I looked up Gone with the Wind on eBay, and this one matched first edition copies. So I opened it up, and you can see it has a lot of damage to it, but it is 1936, and then so it's not like a first edition, first printing, which is probably worth tons and tons of money. It's a later print. I'm not an expert on antiquarian books, so I don't know which ones those, what this really means in, say, the value wise. So I just have to go with what I can look at on eBay and see if I can find equivalents. And, you know, it doesn't have a jacket or anything, dust jacket, anything like that. So I have already listed this. I listed it pretty quickly for $50 onto eBay, and it did not sell immediately. So that tells me that I didn't underprice it, that that's probably fine for now, but I don't know if it'll sell for $50. I can hope, or I'd be happy if I got, say, $30 and it paid for the whole lot if someone actually wants this one. As I pointed out, it is in rougher shape than you could tell from the shelves, of course, or from the photos of the shelves. Of course, there's like a puncture on the back of it that kind of pokes through, and this is very badly foxed, water stained, whatever has caused this bit of discoloration. It's not in great shape. So that was one of the ones that caught my eye. The other ones are these James Patterson ones. So from the spines, these looked like early editions to me. And I thought, not only could they be early editions, but what if they're signed? So I looked inside, and when I got them, and they're in really nice condition, which is great because like I mentioned, a lot of the books are in poor condition. So they kept these ones in really good condition. But both of these are first editions, but they are not signed. So again, I listed both of these together as like hardcover, first edition, James Patterson books with nice dust jackets as a lot, and I can put up the comp. I believe I put $30 on these, but again, if someone just wants these for less than that, absolutely will take an offer and consider that part of the profit that I will be getting off of this lot, hopefully. The next ones are these multisensory teaching. There were a lot of teaching reading books, so I'm guessing this person was in the teaching language arts and reading. There's a lot of those, but when I saw these from the shelf on the pictures, I comped them, and there's some really good ones that sell. Unfortunately, I couldn't read this. I thought this might say third edition, but I wasn't totally sure. And when I did comping, like, I don't think anyone had the spine that matched that to show. I kind of suspected after looking up a few more that it would probably be this one that's not worth anything. It's a newer edition that's worth like $20 to $30. So if I ever see that one, I can look out for it. And then there's this activity book that can also be good, I think, if it's a later edition, but might still try to put these together. I'll think about that a little bit, or might just sell those on at, say, yard sale, give them away, something like that, if I decide not to list them. But that is a disappointment that those did not turn out as well as I'd hoped, but that is okay. That's the way it goes. And then the final one that I had thought would make it worth getting this lot was the New York School Photographs. So when I comped this, now when you look it up yourself, you're going to see that the sell-through rate is not incredible because only one has sold recently. There's a few of them listed, but they're priced a little higher. And I thought maybe I will list this one. I think the last one sold for $50. That might have included shipping. So you can think of this as maybe a $40 book, but I was thinking it's quite heavy too. So might list it for $30 and see if there's anyone who's been kind of keeping their eye on the other copies of it, because they want it, but they don't want to pay more money. So they'd take $30, or they would offer $20 plus the shipping. I would want to do $20 plus the shipping for this heavy book. But if I could get $20 for those, $60, and around triple what I paid, and then hopefully a few more of the other books will turn out well. So that's also what I wanted to show you, because I have one that I just found when I was going through them. I did not see this one, or don't remember seeing this one when I did my comping of the photographs online. But when I just comped this one, it looks like I could easily get, say, $12 plus shipping, or maybe $20 including the shipping. There is a little bit of a range there, but like I could see listing this for $12 plus shipping, and there we go. I've got another $9 to $10 added on to what I already kind of was my minimum that I was hoping I would get, be like $60. And hopefully that is another one that will go quickly. It looks like that one sells through a little bit faster and Not a huge amount of profit, not a huge amount of money on that sale, but it's a pretty simple book to ship and looks like it's in good shape. So that is a little bit of a bonus, I think, so far. Yeah, so that's my first ever auction haul, online auction buy. And the biggest amount of work, I think, was clearing them off their shelves in the house, getting them to my car, and then Jacob helped me bring them into the warehouse. So that wasn't as bad because he carried a lot of the heavy boxes for me. And then I am going through them pretty quickly. I'm not sitting here worrying about, I look up, like I found this one that I'm talking about that I looked it up quickly and it looks like, oh, it sells through and would make me about $10. So I will keep that one to set aside. And then any of the ones that are damaged or the ones that I was like, these sell for $4 shipping, including shipping on eBay, that's not going to happen. And those will just go onwards to, like I said, flea market, yard sale, donate to a free library, something like that. And I'm trying to move quickly through them. And I thought it would be more of a slog through, maybe because I already comped them as I was trying to make my decision on what to bid on them. So I kind of had already an idea of which ones would be good, possibly. So I'm going to go do the other half of these, and hopefully those ones I showed you were the ones I already had identified. And I feel like the rest, the next half is just going to be like seeing if I can find another $10, $15 book to add to sort of the pile to get listed. But most of them are going to be just discards to get through the piles of books that I've now made. So I'm really happy so far. Obviously, I said I just listed 2 of them already, and they haven't had much interest or sold in the day that they've been up. If they do sell, I'll let you guys know in a future video. It could be a little while. But overall, I'm very happy with what I got from that to kind of test the waters, see how I feel. The company that did this auction actually just had an estate sale, and I went there this morning I ended up only buying a couple things because the prices were a little bit high. So I'm definitely going to keep an eye out on their after auction for this house, because there were definitely some beauty products in the bathroom that I would love to get if they were cheaper, and some other household items, some dishes, china that they had. I'm gonna keep my eye on it, and if some of the stuff that I noticed there that I wouldn't mind getting or I'd like to get, if they were a bit cheaper, I could get them in a lot on auction again. I am going to look at that and see if any of them fit my needs and are in my price point that I would like. Then I will go ahead and bid again. And I just know I gotta get through them fast, because this stuff piles up if I don't sort through it quickly. But I'm happy with that so far, and I'll let you know if and when any of these sell to get me back that $20 I invested. So hope you enjoyed this first ever auction haul that I've ever won, and seeing some of what I've got from it, and I will see you next time. All right, bye.